You're right. My name's Ash, this is Crack Minis, and today I'm going to be building some scatter terrain. Mate of mine asked me to make some, and I thought I might as well show you my process. Enjoy. As I just said, we're making scatter terrain, so for that we're going to need some ingredients. First things first, I've got tilt rolls. I work retail, so I end up putting them in my pockets most of the time after they run out. Always remember to ask permission before you take anything home from work. That's important. Could get you sacked otherwise. Most people won't have access to these, so I'm going to be using paper straws as well. So I've got some empty sprue, some candy floss sticks. I forgot to put them in this, but coffee stir sticks as well. Put the cork cat in. No idea why I did that. Didn't end up using it. And something for basing. I've been using Foamex board. Anything will do you, as long as it doesn't warp too much. Get them together. I wanted to do like little pyramids with the pipes. So I got some rubber bands, stuck it around it and got it into the shape I wanted. Did this with the tilt rolls and the paper straws. The idea behind these is just to make something nice, quick, easy and simple. Something you can make at home as well. Good rule of thumb with scatter terrain is to have some that the Mini can see over and some that the Mini can hide behind. This gives you better modularity, allows you to get better use out of whatever the line of sight mechanics are in the game that you're using them in. Use those cover saves. Once I'd got it all glued together, so the things would stay together without rolling all over the place, I decided that they needed a strip of banding. I did try plasticard, which was just a finicky nightmare, and went for actual just plain cardboard, which worked 100 times better because it wraps around smoother and sticks together easy. Once I'd got all the pipes done with this cardboard banding, I decided that I should make some walls. To do this, I took my basing material, which, like I said before, is Foamex. Anything will do, really, for the basing material, as long as it doesn't warp too much for you. Even cardboard, on some occasions, can be pretty good basing material. And I beveled the edges so that it sat flush with the tabletop. As that's done, we pull out what is quickly becoming a channel staple, the sprue. We cut some chunks of that to roughly the same size and glue them in a row on the base. This lets us stack those pesky straws without them falling all over the place and making an absolute mess. It is actually what I did before I tried this method. You know what I mean? When your brain just doesn't brain. Anyway, so once those are in place, you seal them in by placing 2 more bits of sprue opposite side. I wanted it to look like someone drove spikes into the ground, then stacked the pipes to make rough and ready barriers. I threw on some corrugated card as well, just so they weren't all exactly the same, give them some variance. Brings us to pallets. Now, I don't know how many of you watched my very first episode, but I've done this before. But this time, I am going to make my life easier. I'm going to use candy floss sticks and some stir sticks. The candy floss sticks I cut to 4 centimeters length, and then the coffee stir sticks I cut to 6 centimeters length. This was just so I could stack the pipes onto something, so that made them a bit more interesting than just being straight on the floor. Building these things is real easy. But the candy floss sticks vertical, and then you layer those stir sticks over it horizontal, and there you have it, pallets. If you've made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you already are subscribed, thank you very much. You're appreciated. Seeing as I was having such an easy time building this scatter terrain, I thought I might set myself a little challenge. I decided that I was going to finally break out the UV resin. I thought to myself, where would I see it? Standing water in some sort of fish pond made from a barrel. Okay, so originally I was going to use the top half of a cup. Then I realised it wasn't going to hold anything without some major work and opted to use the bottom half of it instead. I jazzed that up with some plasticard and some beads for rivets, just so it didn't look like a bottom half of a cup, and also so it would fit in better with the rest of the scatter terrain. Once that was done, I threw on my terrain paste. My terrain paste is just filler mixed with black paint. It's a little Mod Podge. When I was applying the terrain paste to this and all the other models, I realised that the inside of this container was a bit boring and thought I should probably throw some bits in here for interest, like coins made from hole punched card and some pipes. Once that was done, it was time to slap some paint on. I kept the paint job really simple on these. I started off with black prime, and then I applied both a dry brush and a wet brush of lead Belgium. This is because some of the pipes worked really well, get the dry brush and like the fences and things like that. The larger ones, they needed the wet brush because there wasn't a lot of fine detail for the dry brush to really be effective. Pulled out a wash. This is a Vallejo model wash for Rust Effects, and I give everything a good once over with it. It didn't work so well on the pipes because I said there's not really much for it to adhere to other than giving them a nice orange tinge, which was kind of what I was after. But what worked really well with this, putting a little bit of the wash just on the bottom end, on the inside of the pipes, to make it look like it was like standing water inside that rusted the steel. And especially after it's dried, it looks great and it actually adds a lot to the models themselves. Once I'd got the first steps done with the pipes painted I moved on to my pallets, which I hadn't primed because I wanted to use their natural wood grain to my benefit. I did this by using another Vallejo wash, which was all types of armour. It's called Oiled Earth, and this really worked well with that natural wood grain that's in those coffee stir sticks. I wanted to stay as minimalist as I could with these because I knew that I was going to be covering the vast majority of them with the pipes. At this point I went back over everything with some actual colour. For the vast majority of these pipes I went over them with the Game FX Rust by Vallejo. It didn't give me the quite how I'd expected them to look, but I was happy with how they looked. But watching back, I've realised that maybe if I'd painted a couple, say terracotta, would have worked well, and I may have got away with doing more to them, like maybe adding some moss, things like that. So I might do that off camera, just for myself, just to see how they come out. But something that bears thinking about if you're going to be making these yourself. I also added a very light blue to the straps on the pipes and the corrugated iron and to the sides of the water feature. I went with a lighter colour because I knew I was going to be washing it down, so most of that just come out after the fact, which did. As I said in the last video, I've been painting with a lot of reds and greens, so I wanted to stay away from that for this one. I painted the coins in the bottom of the water feature gold, and then I got to work on my resin. So working with resin wasn't overly difficult, to be fair. First of all, it smells very sweet. I don't know whether it's this particular brand or not, but yeah, it has a sickly sweet smell to it. I don't know whether that's on purpose or not. I just imagine people walking out of like nail salons sniffing their fingers just because it's a very sweet smell, not unpleasant at all. Well, I poured some of it into the bottom of the water feature. Tried not to go too thick, and then I mixed in some resin dyes that I'd got as part of the deal when I bought the 3 bottles of resin. When I got the resin, I got this like tiny little light to go with it. So when I saw this big thing for the £5 at the charity shop, I was like, you know what, I'll just pick it up. I had a look online, they're about 12 quid, so it's not like it's unaffordable. It's just, this was easy access for the £5. I'm like, I might as well get it. And it has that cool little slidey in and out thing with a mirror, so you can see what's going on. I don't know if you saw it on the footage then, but I bought these little fish, like koi fish, nail art stickers that go in, and you put the resin over the top. So I put in a couple of them just to see how it would look after the fact. I was pretty happy with how they've come out. You should see some better images as I do more work on it. And I cured it a second time after putting another small layer on the top. Once that was all hardened, I went and tried to do the boiler hobby technique, where he does the little lily pads by dabbing paint onto the top of the resin. I don't think it worked as well as what it does when he does it, so I'm going to have to try again down the line, trying to get something close to what he does. I probably haven't used the technique right. I was just my own guess of how it would work and then just started doing it. I got down to final fixes, which included gluing the pipes onto the pallets for easy movability. Painting the bases of the models with the base with some enamel wash. I actually washed the whole thing again in my ink wash, but I forgot to film that, so I might as well just say like and subscribe, and here's me again. My hair looked mental in that intro, didn't it? Anyway, so all gone now. Making these was quite a lot of fun. Enjoy the glam shots.